Yes, people, we're back again for another dust up. A view from the stands and Deji Spurs in the building here, ready to talk about the weekend's action. And of course, there's so much to talk about again. We're sat here. I'm smiling. Deji maybe smiling as well, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot to be said. And we are buzzing for it. Week 4 of this show. And every week, we're always thrown with something new. We're always thrown with a new theory, a new outcome, a new optimism, and I'll see what's happening. But Deji, first of all, it's Bank Holiday Monday. How are you feeling, my guy? How are you feeling?
Mate, it feels like the day after tomorrow, to be honest with you. It's been a crazy 24 hours. It was probably one of the dustiest performances I've seen from my club. The only thing that makes me happy is currently, remember when we first started this stream, we had Cass on the channel. And I was finding it extremely strange. Like, why is this United fan here? And he had the audacity to say that him and another guy called Traps had the audacity to say that they would somehow scumbag the thing, is his words, and I quote, and beat Spurs to a Champions League spot or even a Europa League spot. And that Manchester United team, I have to say, there are 3 dusty teams this season. I don't give a damn what anyone says. West Ham is the dustiest, closely followed by United and then Chelsea. Chelsea's still dusty. Don't get it twisted. They've had a nice little run these last 2 games. But those are the 3 teams that I can tell you with chest, they are dustier than Tutankhamun's coffin. Apart from that, yeah, so that just gives me joy, and to be honest with you, that does lift me up because, do you know what I mean? I need some picking up after the rubbish that I've been going through in this past week.
Absolutely. And look, Cass even had the audacity. Can you remember at the start to say why wasn't he on the thumbnails? Can you remember that? Yeah. Like Cass was coming at us going, why is he on the? There's a reason. We can foresee the future. We can foresee the future. And we know there was no point even wasting another 15, 20 seconds of going online, getting the Man United badge, getting a picture of Cass. What's the point in wasting time, Dej?
I don't want to see
in 20, 30 seconds.
I don't want to see Cass ever again in my life, to be honest with you. I don't like dealing with minnows. I hate it. So I never want to see him again. Yeah, but big up to everyone in the chat. Can see everyone in here. Love that.
Big up Arsenal Manic. Big up VJ. Big up Lee Collison, who's been in the house. We've got Barbara in here. We got who else have we got? We got Alan Formalord. Big up to Rhino Skin. Big up to Fraser. It's Tom K. Peter Collins. Stu D. Rub P. 0 Point Deji. We'll come on to that because Deji might have had a big prediction. He might have a big prediction. Big up to Gamer for Life. Big up Beautiful Game. Villa for Life, AVFTS 85. Yeah, we're saying hello to everyone because we got to welcome in the chat. Big up to here to there. Eric C as well, Pinto, Wayne Hennessy, Captain Hindsight, Dino, the assembled. Look, we really appreciate everyone in here. So make sure, whichever channel you're on, you're smashing the like button for both of us and make sure you're subscribing to both channels. By the way, I haven't really been able to do this live on air, but I want to congratulate Deji. He's got over the 1,000 subscriber mark, which is massive. Me and Deji, of course, talk in private a lot. And I have congratulated him private. We've had big chats. And listen, I've told this man, I gave him a prediction before we went live. I'm not going to tell anyone, because that's between me and Deji. But I've made a big prediction for Deji and his future on YouTube this year. So we'll come back to that one day. And Deji will, I'm probably better at predictions than Deji because we're going to get into some of Deji's predictions again tonight because we have to address it. It's got to be done. And look, Deji's made some predictions about Villa that we'll also address as well. So
I think I made a correct prediction about Villa, mate. Just so you know, I made a correct prediction, so just put some respect on my name and my club. But yeah,
we have, that's right, Peter, not Phil. Yeah, of course, Phil Collins was mentioned last time, but it is Peter Collins say that. But no, Deji is blown up. We love to see it, and he did his first ever watch along as well at the weekend, and I was listening in the background quite with a smile. I didn't want to rub it in too much, but I was just watching it, and I've got some of Deji's. I've taken in some of the stuff that Deji said about his club, or should I say his club, as he says it. But no, I think what we'll do then tonight is let's do it in game order, shall we? Because I think that's the best way to start. Is we're going to talk about my club. Who again played first, and this is important played first for Tottenham to know how and what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And my club went to Brighton. Now, Deji, I'll be honest, you did predict that we would struggle against Brighton. Now, I want to know, in the last stream, why? Why did you predict Brighton would do a job on us? And what was your theory behind that?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, thank you, Josh, for, acknowledging the fact that I knew that you were going to be dusty against Brighton. Look, the thing is, there's a couple of things that are going in my mind. The first thing is, obviously, you had a massive game against Olympiacos. I have to say, you, man, were truly dusty on that when you, man, got slapped up 4-2. But the other thing is that Brighton are crazy, especially at home. It's Jekyll and Hyde with Brighton. If they decide that they want to turn up, they're a very difficult team to stop. If they decide that they want to stink out the place, then, you probably slap them up. And I just had a feeling that this team would do what I needed to do. The other thing is, sometimes maybe the stars are aligned. Because I told you, Josh, that I can't see your club getting any more points between now and the end of the season. Now, I'm looking at your last 2 games. You've got Liverpool and you've got the informed Crystal Palace. I can say with chest that Villa has had their points this season. You, man, ain't doing nothing. Do you get me? Against Crystal Palace. You're definitely not doing anything against that Liverpool team. So what you've done is you've left the door open. It's only a club like my club, Tottenham Hotspur, that maybe be able to pull something out of the bag. What do I mean? I think Tottenham, if Tottenham beat Burnley on the weekend, I can see my dusty club on Tuesday night slapping up Man City and literally giving the Arsenal fans what they're looking for, which is the win. But look, I'm not talking about Spurs right now. I had a feeling, bro, is the honest truth. I had a feeling because with Brighton, when they have their players, just like us, when you have a couple of players out, you can see the dip off in form. But as soon as some players come back, Welbeck has been a handful. I think he's a top striker, man. Respect to Welbeck, still doing it, even that he's, even though he's kind of, he's older now. Welbeck is still a baller. What a striker! I think he's technical. I think he's actually better than Rashford. Do you know what I mean in terms of how he plays the game? And then and Dringa, what a player he is. Do you know what I mean? He's come back from AFCON and he's just literally kicked on. He's the sort of player that Spurs need to be looking at for the left-hand side of our midfield. And yeah, I just felt it. And they scored early. They got a goal disallowed. And then was it a pen? Did Brighton get a pen to kind of?
They had a penalty to win it, yeah.
Penalty
to go and win it.
Look, it was a tight game. But also, the one thing I know about Villa is you guys are nervous right now. You guys have never been in this situation before, or at least you haven't been in this situation for a long time. And I think you guys got rattled. I think the game again, I mean, first and foremost, getting slapped up 4-2 by Olympiacos is borderline disgraceful, to be honest. That is some dusty stuff. But also, it's like, I think Unai has got half an eye on the game. Is it this week? It's this week, yeah? This Thursday.
This Thursday.
Yeah, because he knows you guys need to win 2-0. And I think you can do it. My prediction's always been that Villa will probably win the Europa Conference League, but you will probably flop on the Champions League. Now, you thought that I was just bantering you. But I think you're starting to see the cracks. I don't think your team have the mentals and they don't have the kahunas to get it over the line. That's really what I'm thinking right now. Hold on.
You're still sat here telling me you don't think we're going to get top 4?
Bruv, let me tell you, I had given up. I had conceded top 4 if you had drawn the game. I conceded top 4 if you'd drawn the game. But by the fact that you guys didn't get the win or a draw, you are not winning your next 2 games, my bro. And the thing is with Spurs, my club, if there's any team that you want to play Man City right now, it is Spurs.
It's not Spurs. It's not Spurs. It's not Spurs.
It is. It is Spurs. It is. You'd want Spurs to play City. Arsenal fans are all shaking their bum violently at home. A lot of them are sitting, in their underwear with the fan blowing on their face, sitting away, bashing away on the keyboard, because they know that Tottenham is probably going to do Man City over. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Shamelessly, me, I want City to do us double figures, to be honest. Hit 12, 15 goals past my club. But I can see this shocking team turning up. That's the problem.
Dej. Aston Villa do not need to win another game and will still get top 4. That is how Spursy you are. You are not going to beat Man City. You're not going to beat Man City. I want you. Hold on. Give me. I want you to give me. I was going to say 3, but give me 2 convincing reasons why Spurs are going to beat Man City after your performances in your last 4 games, where Chelsea have dusted you up, Liverpool have dusted you up, Arsenal have dusted you up. You've been. Just give me a reason.
I totally agree. Look, based on the performances, Tottenham is rubbish. And I've got Arsenal fans trolling me and telling me all sorts of stuff. Arsenal fans, what you need to be doing is getting your little prayer beads out and hoping for the best. All right? You need my help. You need my club's help. Can you imagine? Arsenal are there praying, hoping that Tottenham does City over. Now, let me tell you what it is. Josh, I kid you not, and I think everyone in the chat would agree with me. I don't know what it is about Tottenham and Man City. We just had this thing over them. We just look. Don't you find it strange that since Tottenham's moved into their new stadium, these guys have not scored a single goal against Spurs in the Premier League? We're talking about 7 years. 7 years, no goals. They got their first goal in the FA Cup. The FA Cup, we couldn't give a damn about, my brother. Do you get what I'm saying? Now, for me, the only reason why there is still hope for the Spurs fan base, and people will call me delusional. The first thing is, I do not want to wear that crusty Arsenal away shirt. Hell no, is Josh coming all the way to London, walking me to the Emirates Stadium to buy that dusty shirt. That ain't going to happen. The second thing is, if we're being brutally honest, I think Villa fans will accept this as well. You guys would rather win the Europa Conference League than finish 4th. That is the truth. Right. You said it yourself. You'd rather win the Europa Conference League. And I actually think Villa is going to beat Olympiacos. You're going to be at home for that game, and I think you're going to slap them up 2-0. It could be 2-0 or 3-1, but it's definitely by 2-goal margin, and you guys will go through. But I think the wear and tear of that game would mean that when you show up against Liverpool on the weekend, there is nothing that your club is going to do against Liverpool. There's nothing. So you've already lost that game. Then, I'm not going to lie to you. The one team you do not want to be playing against right now is Palace. Palace, remember, let me remind you, they slapped up Liverpool, they slapped up Newcastle, and they're slapping up Man United as we speak. I'm not going to lie to you. You are going to play Palace, and they're probably going to slap you up. So you're getting, like the Eurovision Song Contest, no point. Do you know what I mean? No point. No points. Now, Tottenham, if we beat Burnley this weekend, it's game on. It really is. I don't think Tottenham, based on form, will beat Man City. But stranger things have happened. It would be my club to do a number on City and give our rivals the league. As for me, let me be honest. I want to see City hit Tottenham for 9 or 10 goals. I would be shaking my bum violently if that happened.
Hold on, I've got to come in here. You're either going to get top 4, which you're trying to tell me, and that means you're not going to be wearing this Arsenal shirt, or you want City to put 9 or 10 past you, and you want to wear an Arsenal shirt so that Arsenal don't win the league. How is that going to sit with you? Because what Rob P is saying is spot on. I want to know where you're getting 7 points from. If you're getting nil points, where are you getting 7 points from?
I think Rob P hasn't
checked. Don't tell me 3 wins. Do not tell me 3 wins.
Rob P, I don't think Rob P has checked the fixtures. Spurs have Burnley at home. Yeah.
What's the score? Give me a rough score, because there's goal difference as well.
I'm not going to lie to you. Tottenham going to slap up Burnley about 3-0. Just light work. That Burnley team is dusty. Dusty. So they're getting slapped. Then we're going to play City. I'm not telling... This is not about... When Tottenham plays City, logic goes out the window, my friend. because every season that we've done the number on City, the truth is they've gone on to win the league. They've been the better team. City do not want to play Spurs. Even in the FA Cup game, we could see that they were nervous. We could see that these guys could feel the little voodoo that was going on, and they limped and got a 1-0 win, a dusty 1-0 win, FA Cup, and their full team. De Bruyne was there, Rodri was there. I just think this jammy Tottenham team, what wouldn't they, after losing 4 bloody games in a row, they'll bloody turn the season around, beat Burnley, beat City, beat Sheffield United. Now, I'm not going to be happy with that. But given the circumstances, I will take Champions League football. So, Rob, I don't think Spurs get 7 points. I think Spurs get 9 points. It's not pretty. It doesn't make logical sense. But if anyone's going to slap up Man City, it's my club. And it's 3-0. Hey, you man, you don't want this smoke, Villa. You don't. Mateta's coming. Elise is coming for you, man. Eze is coming for you, man. Come on, nah.
So
that's why. Respectfully, you man ain't beating. You're not beating Palace or Liverpool. Let's just.
So you are beating City, right?
What I'm saying to you, Josh, this is not some shameless banter. I don't understand it myself. Let me be clear. And I think everyone in the chat will agree. Does anyone understand why Tottenham have a hold on City? Nobody knows. But I think so far this season, everything that tends to happen has been happening. What do I mean by this? Tottenham's gone to the bridge. We lost. Tottenham played at home to Arsenal. We lost. Tottenham went to Villa. We won. Tottenham went to Newcastle. We lost. Pretty much all the things that everybody was telling me was going to happen, happened. And I just think, what does Tottenham normally do against City? They normally beat City. It don't make sense. We could be in a relegation dogfight. We will still slap up this team. This is one team we always get a result against.
Yeah. I've got to address the elephant in the room. Because you told me that Spurs were going to slap up the 3 Musketeers.
Yeah.
Now, I gave you 1 Musketeer in Arsenal, a derby game, and you turned up with a pencil. Okay? You turned up with a pencil. Second game, Liverpool. In the first half, you turned up with a chicken wing in Emerson Royale. Chicken Royale. You turned up with a chicken wing to a sword fight. Yeah? You turned up with a chicken wing at fullback. Emerson Chicken Royale was at fullback. And the second half, you actually decided in the second half, by the way, to maybe get a little Stanley knife. You turned up against the Musketeers in the second half with a Stanley knife. What the hell are you going to turn up with against the Musketeers, Man City? You turn up with a machete? You turn up with a lightsaber? Or are you having a Dulux box of boneless chicken wings with Emerson Chicken Royale playing? Because if that brother is playing, you are done. You are dusted. Don't even bother turning up.
I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. The problem that we're having at the moment is that the squad is not good enough. Do you know what I mean? I think they're not playing. This high-risk, high-reward football requires all the pieces to the puzzle to be on the table. And we are really terribly missing Udogie right now. It's disgusting. And you can see the gap in our defence because of it. The issue also is that Postecoglou, I think, is setting up the team. He's setting up the team for failure. He is sending a message to the board. Let me tell you why. A lot of people say to me...
Wait, are you telling me he's sabotaging on purpose?
I think he is, bro. Like, legitimately, I think he is. Hear me out. Sometimes... Here
we go, chat.
Sometimes you got to know who you're dealing with. Yeah? You know, remember that Pochettino didn't have any money for 18 months, and yet he managed to take the team to the Champions League final. That was a win-win. He didn't have to spend any money bringing in players, and then he recouped all that money from getting my club to a Champions League final. Now, Postecoglou, I think he's realised that this brother, Daniel Levy, is the stingiest guy in world football, and he's not going to go out and get him what he needs unless there's pressure on his back. And the pressure is, we are failing. You see, if it was the other way around and Tottenham started slow and started winning now, you would think that everything's all sorted. Now, all of a sudden, everyone's tune about Chelsea has changed. All of a sudden, Pochettino is doing a great job. Look, it's taking time. Now they're sourcing. I think that Chelsea's team is still royally dusty. They're still dustier than Tutankhamun's coffin. They've just had a good week. Do you get what I'm saying? So I don't know why people are shaking their bum violently for them. But Pochettino has realised that he needs to show the board that he needs players. He's already said it himself. He said after the Chelsea game, he's going to have to make some difficult decisions. He's going to have to overhaul this team. And it even means that good players, the likes of Son maybe, could be leaving Spurs this summer. Do you get what I'm saying? In order for us to bring in fresh blood, players that we know can play that system. And so I'm happy with that, because if Tottenham get Champions League football, and we were happy with it, because I still think we can still get Champions League. But if we were happy and we were sourcing and winning games and slapping up the Musketeers, it would look like we've got a great squad. Why would we need to spend any money? Why would we need to bring any players in? So I think Postecoglou, because, mate, I'm not going to lie to you, we the fan base from home, when I saw that lineup against Liverpool on the weekend, I was like, who in their right mind will leave Emerson Royale alone with Mo Salah? It doesn't happen. Even me, I'm an amateur. I would not make that same bloody mistake. I wouldn't. Unless you're trying to send a message. Do you know what I mean? And I think the message is loud and clear. I'm in pain right now. My club is in the mud. But even if we're in the mud, mate, we're fifth. With Man United's dusty performance, and I don't really see much happening from Newcastle between now and the end of the season, we've guaranteed Europa League, but Tottenham might do the unthinkable and still pull off a surprise and get fourth. And that for me would be very, very funny.
That, we've heard the speech. Are you convinced by Deji? Has he persuaded you now that Postecoglou is some unbelievable wizard who knows how to outsmart Daniel Levy? But not many gaffers, the likes of Conte, the likes of Mourinho, the likes of Poch couldn't do. But somehow this Australian geezer who's been around the block, who's come from the SPFL, apparently is smarter than Daniel Levy. Can you see the self-sabotage? Let me know in the chat. There's some great comments I do want to come to. And by the way, just a bit of admin, guys. Make sure you are smashing up the likes on both the streams. Subscribe to both the channels. We had some super chats coming as well. Big up to Vamos VJ as well for the £2 super chat. Appreciate it. Dino, he's agreeing with Deji. Palace will turn Villa over. He's a Villa fan. Dino, he's saying Palace will turn Dino over. Palace will turn Villa over. Appreciate that. And Lee Collison celebrating good times. Big up to you guys. Thank you for that. But look, there's some good comments I want to come to here that's just coming in. The first one is actually, which I will come to as well, is about some of your players, because conversations are going to need to be had. If you don't get Champions League, how many of your guys are going to stick around and go, do you know what? We believe in Ange. We believe that we are going to be challenging top four. Or is Sonny going to start getting itchy feet and going, hold on, I'm going to be a Champions League quality player here? Or is he? Is he just a purple patch player? That's what I've been debating.
Son.
Well. Son is a purple patch player. That's what I want to put out there as well.
No, do you know what? I agree. He is a purple patch player. I still think he's world class. I think you can have both. You can be world class and still purple patch. And that is Son. Son has these moments where in a season, 10, 15 games, he is sourcing, and then after those 10, 15 games, he's literally lost in space. I mean, he literally goes through a black hole, and then we got to bloody see if we can build some sort of spaceship to go and get him back. But the truth is, we don't get him back, and we lose him for the rest of the season. That is Son. For me, I don't know. I think there was talk about offering Son a new contract, but I think we just need to prepare for the end. At some point, Son will be gone. And I think it's fine if Son was to leave at the end of the season. I know it's
Kane then Son in the back.
I think it's unpopular opinion. You know what's happened when you have.
Oh my God, it's 4-0 Palace. Sorry, it's 4-0 Palace.
4-0. I mean, Man United is fully dusty. I did tell you. Where is Cass? In the mud. Showed you. Rubbish team. Rubbish. As for me, I don't talk to United fans anyway. I don't talk to United fans. I don't talk to Chelsea fans because they're all beneath me. But Cass is getting cooked. Don't just know I'm coming for him loud and clear. Never a foul, mate. Never again. By the time I finish with Cass later on this week. But I think Tottenham, the problem is when you have Son and Kane, we didn't prepare for the future. We should have been bringing in the likes of Eze, Elise into the club as the successors to those two in terms of our attack line. We didn't. We've been relying on them, and that's why we find ourselves in the mud. So I think we might have to see Son go so that we're forced to play a different brand of football and not just be relying on one man. So for me, he has to go, and Van de Ven won't go, because for Van de Ven to leave my club, you're going to have to spend 120 mil. And who's going to offer us 120 mil plus? I don't know. We don't sell him because Van de Ven for me is our future. But Son, he's a legend. We love him. But at the same time, I think for Spurs to move on and do what it needs to do, we have to make, sadly, it may be without him. It's not a popular opinion, but I think we need to go and get fresh blood. For me, I would like to see Tottenham spend 160 mil and bring in Eze and Elise. I think that's the answer to, what we need on the wing. But definitely, if anyone wants Van de Ven, if you're not talking 100 plus, 120 mil plus, there's no way he's leaving. I don't know why Wayne Hennessy is laughing. Everyone in your camp think he's just as good as Saliba, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? And Saliba is going for about 120 mil. So unless you're offering us 120 mil for the fastest defender in world football, he's not leaving.
If he's 120 mil, Ezri Konsa's 200 million. Right? My guy, Ezri Konsa.
Konsa is a baller. But let's not get carried away. For me, like legitly, Konsa is about 75, 80 mil.
He's better than Van de Ven, though, right?
No, he's not better than Van de Ven.
Are you mad? No, dead.
No, don't be silly, bro.
Konsa
is a good player. I would have Konsa at my club, but there is no way he's better than Van de Ven, bro. Never.
Dead. My guy Ezri can fill in seamlessly at right back, can fill in seamlessly at centre half. He has better ball playing attributes than Van de Ven. The only thing that Van de Ven has better than Konsa is pace. I'm sorry, but
to play the high line, to play Postecoglou football, you need that pace, and that's why Van de Ven working.
How's that high line working? How is it working?
That's why Van de Ven exits it, mate. Mate,
listen.
You keep trolling me about how's the high line working. We're fifth. We're fifth in the Prem.
Is that
you know what I mean? So it must have been. It must have done something, or we wouldn't be fifth, would we?
Okay. Let's because we'll quickly touch on a bit more about. Obviously, we've talked about a few things. Well,
can I ask you, Josh? Do you? Because you've asked me, but do you think Villa? Do you think Villa can handle both right now? Because for me, from the outside looking in, from what I saw on the weekend, from what I saw of the game against Olympiacos, from what I saw of the game against Brighton, it does look and feel like your players are under pressure and they're really feeling it. I think that thing of we can win a trophy and also we can finish fourth might just be too much for them to handle. And that's nothing to be ashamed about. Do you know what I mean? It's not often that you find yourself, literally a game from winning your first trophy and also a couple of games or a game from cementing Champions League football. It's been a minute. It's been a while that you found yourself in that position. But I do feel like the pressure's getting to the lads.
It's not pressure. It's fatigue. It's as simple as that. It's tiredness and fatigue. Villa have had to rely on near enough the same starting 11 for most of the last 2-3 months because we have been plagued with injuries, big injuries as well, key injuries where rotation hasn't been. And I actually tweeted the other day, and I feel sorry for some of the boys on the bench, but basically I said, if you can't get a game for Aston Villa now, you're never going to get a game for the club in the future because Unai Emery made one sub when the legs were clearly rattled. That was John Duran came on for Moussa Diaby. His next sub proceeded on the 88th minute.
That's crazy.
And you can have 5 subs. He looks at the bench and he looks at the kids that we've got on the bench and he goes, no. And it's the harsh reality of this top level elite football, right? And some Villa fans will be like, oh no, these kids will have time. I'll be honest with you, and this is really clear for me, is if you can't get a game now when players are on their legs, when the likes of Ollie Watkins, Leon Bailey, John McGinn are absolutely dead, buried, and they're just playing on empty, and you still can't come on and replace them for 10, 15 minutes, you ain't going to play in the future for Aston Villa. Now, we are as you said, you're saying we were feeling the pressure. I think Unai Emery, I'll be really real, he wants top four. He wanted top four basically confirmed against Brighton, near or less. It hasn't happened. He's frustrated, but he knows how much these players are given. He is probably concerned about, have we got enough gas to get through the next games? The semi-final, Liverpool, essentially, those two. I'll be real with you. I don't know if we can give everything to both games. So what does that mean? I think Unai is like the rest of us Villa fans. I think he is relying on Spurs to now bottle themselves.
Basically, if we lose to City, we're done for, basically.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what he's now calculating. And therefore, I expect on Thursday everything. I expect the gasket. I expect literally us going out in a Ferrari, a Porsche, foot down on the accelerator. Give me everything. Give me everything. Yeah. And then let Spurs maybe even bottle against Burnley. Who knows? Probably not. But you've got to play before us, before we play on Monday. And then you readdress that. So I think, Deji, to be honest, and it's not excuses, but you would have known this with Spurs. You've seen it yourself with injuries. We are genuinely on the bare bones in the sense that the kids on the bench don't even get a look in off the bench. They don't even get a minute or two off the bench, like when we're that tired. And the substitutions are showing that. So I am really hopeful. I've said this, the Olympiacos game, if we score first, because we're 4-2 down, if we score first at Olympiacos, we will qualify. If they score, tie's done. If they score first, the tie's done. They could still go on and score, but I think we have to score first. Yeah. Even if at some stage it goes 2-1 to us, I still think we'll go and find that third. I think we have to score first. Otherwise, this tie is done. It's dusted. So that's a big thing for me. But look, I honestly think you're going to slip up against Burnley or Sheffield United. I know this sounds crazy.
I know my team is dusty, but I just can't see it happening, to be honest. I'm admitting that Tottenham have been dusty the last 3 games, but I just think if Tottenham was to lose to Burnley or Sheffield United, either one of them, that kind of good feel, that the good feeling that we've been having, you can almost excuse the fact that the Bridge, Tottenham normally lose at the Bridge, even if we're having a fantastic season. That is one place we don't pick up points. Arsenal are North London rivals. Again, they're bloody top of the league. You can argue this might be their season. So again, losing to them, is it really shameful? Not really. And then Liverpool, again, another place that traditionally Spurs go to, Anfield. We always play well. We always huff and puff, but we don't really get anything from those 3 places. So I think even though the last 3 results have not been great, Newcastle away, Newcastle like to give Spurs royal spankings. It's not great, but I would say that you could kind of see it. It's not so uncommon. What would really rattle the fan base is if Spurs lose to Burnley at home. That would really piss everyone off. And also, I would go as far, because when I watched the Chelsea match, there was a point where I thought, this guy's lost the dressing room. That is mad. I legitimately thought, I think he's lost the dressing room, mate. These players aren't playing for him anymore. The fact that we were 4-0 down, 4-0, before we got our act together against Liverpool is a disgrace. 4-2 just makes it seem a little bit more palatable. But to be 4-0 down is a disgrace, really. I don't give a damn. And Liverpool weren't sourcing. They weren't great. It wasn't like Liverpool when they had Mane, Salah coming at you full steam ahead, ripping you to shreds. That Liverpool team, by their standards, was dusty. In terms, it was poor. Do you know what I mean? But they still managed to score 4 goals. Could have easily been 5, 6 if Núñez could finish off his dinner. Lose to Burnley, and I think Postecoglou really has a problem on his hands. Because although we're going to give him the time to stick around and do what he needs to do over the summer, I've got really, really big doubts whether he can get the job done. Because at the very minimum, he needs to show us before the season ends. If the season ends with 3 more defeats, how can we be so sure he's going to get it right over the summer? I'm not going to be sure. Plus, he won't have enough credit in the bank to ensure that we give him enough time for us to see it through. Trust me, I'm not sure. Man U is being slapped up, and I'm loving it. I am loving it. But also, Villa fans, for the Villa fans in here, it means that this is mad. Do you get what I'm saying? And the other point I want to make, the Assemble talks about, you heard that a few construction workers were saying that Levy was arguing over the cost of screws. I've heard the same thing. I'm in and around the construction game a little bit, and I know I heard the same thing from a couple of companies who said that this guy is shameless in what he was haggling whilst building the stadium. But yeah, just make
Christ. Right, I'm going to ask a question again to Dej and the chat, and I want the chat to get involved with this. Okay, question to you is this. All right, this time next season, will Ange Postecoglou still be in the post? Will he still be Tottenham manager? What's your gut feeling? What is your gut feeling? Will Ange Postecoglou be Tottenham manager this time next season going into it? Or is he going to be another 2-season wonder? No trophies, no progress, but a hell of a lot of great interviews with journalists. Dej, I'm going to put it to you, and I want the chat to answer as well. Yes or no? Have your thoughts. Will Ange Postecoglou still be Tottenham manager this time next season with Daniel Levy as owner? Dej?
I think he will be, because I think that when I look at what's happening this season, I see similarities between Arsenal and Klopp in his first season. Remember, Klopp in his first season got slapped up by Spurs 4-1 at Wembley. People were talking about maybe Klopp is out of his depth, blah, 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 highline, this and that rubbish. But look what happened in the end. Do you know what I mean? He started to cook 3 or 4 seasons into the job. Arteta, anyway, Arsenal fans were shaking their bum violently. They wanted to get him out. Season 1, 8th. Season 2, 8th. Season 3, 5th. Season 4 is when we started to see the Arteta way of football start to ingrain in the DNA of the Arsenal players, and we are seeing what we're seeing today. I think it's going to take 2-3 seasons for us to see the Postecoglou style of play embedded. So I think he will be given time. But there's a thing, though. The only issue we have is that Arteta, Lee Gunner said something to me the other day, and I kind of agree. And I'm actually going to use this in my analysis of Spurs. If you win a trophy, it buys you 2 seasons. Yeah? If Unai was to get you the Europa Conference League, it buys you next season for whatever happens. And then the 3rd season, he would need to do something again in order to buy himself a bit more time. And I kind of semi-agree with that. There's something about success or progress. Now, Postecoglou hasn't won anything this season, and I'm expecting as a minimum Carabao Cup. I don't like it. I still think it's dusty, but he needs to bring it home in order to buy himself more time if he's doing a project. If he doesn't bring home a trophy, and if Spurs do not finish in the top 4, then I'm afraid to say Postecoglou will need to be out of my club. Now, Postecoglou has said with chest that my club will be in a title race next season. Yeah, because that signifies progress. And as long as there's progress, he deserves to stick around 100%.
Wow. Dad, look at this one from Peter Collins. Saw a post of points in first 35 games in the Premier League. Klopp had 58 and 60. Arteta 58. Unai Emery 68. Listen, I want to come in on Unai Emery. This guy doesn't need to. This guy is going to be having the keys to Aston Villa for as long as he wants. And the owners of our club, because we got genuine ambition, we got real ambition.
For how long will he have the keys?
They want him to build a legacy like Wenger and Sir Alex Ferguson. That was the statement the owners put out the other day. They believe this guy can have the keys, and this is why people outside of Aston Villa don't understand. When Unai Emery keeps getting linked to these jobs, and you've got the audacity of TalkSport, Andy Goldstein, keep telling me, well, Unai Emery should go to Man United. Of course, he would look at Man United over Aston Villa. Of course, he would go and choose Man United. What they do not understand is that this man has been able to have full control of Aston Villa Football Club, from the minute training details of the training ground, where he can choose about what should be at the training ground. This man wants to build a hotel at the training ground. He wants players to be able to stay overnight in the training ground, and his staff and him to stay at Bodymore Heath. That's what he wants. To then the transfers, to the playing style, to the everything. He is fully involved. So for me, this guy is going to be around for a while. Now, if he wins trophies, it's only going to be the momentum swinger that he needs. Personally, for me, I think Ange looks a tired man. And what's going to happen is he is going to be seriously, seriously let down this summer by your owner. And when he is seriously let down, and when he decides that he has not been able to get the players that he wants for Ange Ball, he might keep this self-sabotage up in September, October, November, December, and try and make a real point, because I keep going back to it. I have seen elite managers come to Spurs in Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte, and they have faced the same problems. Why on earth is Daniel Levy going to treat Ange Postecoglou any different
because
in a transfer?
Postecoglou is not going to cost him any. Postecoglou is not going to cost him money. What Conte wanted was to spend 100 mil on Caicedo. We were never going to spend 100 mil on one player. The other thing that Conte wanted was to bring in players aged 38 and 39. Left to Conte, if you let him off the leash, this brother would have been bringing in Paolo Maldini, Costa Curta, Roberto Albertini, and bloody Diego Maradona if he could. Do you know what I mean? He wanted to bring in all these old players. Postecoglou is not going to spend 100 mil on one player. He's too pragmatic for that. He's more likely to bring in 2-3 players for the same amount of money. And also, he's not about the names. He's all about what he thinks works. He wants young, hungry players that don't have names, people that want to fight for the badge, who appreciate being at a big club like Spurs. They want that. That's who they want to see coming into the club.
Wins you the title. And that wins you a title. Or challenges you for a title.
I think if you have the right players who are hungry and want to kind of make a name for themselves, those are the type of players that we want. Well, that's the sort of players that he wants. As for me, I think because of the dusty end to the season, he needs to make at least a couple of marquee signings. Those signings should be, in my opinion, Eze and Elise. We should go out on a limb, 160 mil for those two players, and Crystal Palace will sell them to Spurs. Then that will show intent. That will show me that my club is serious and not just messing about. If not, then you will find me over in Milton Keynes supporting MK Dons.
All right, real talk now. Real talk. All right, I like you. You're a great guy. Who's in? Let's be real here. Aston Villa are in a better position to challenge for a title than Spurs for that season, right?
No, because your squad is not good enough to challenge for a title at the moment. Who are you bringing in over the summer?
Lesh. We are going to be making.
We've got your legendary scout. Lance has moved club because he could see the bigger picture. That guy he literally built your team. Who have you even replaced him? Have you replaced Lance?
Monchi, who have you got? We've upgraded. We've got Don Monchi. Don Monchi, who is Unai Emery's right hand man. I promise you now, we've upgraded on Johan Lange, right? And I've got to tell you this. Our current squad is better than yours. We have got depth to come in as well. We've got to remember that we're going to be adding like 2 new transfers, Emi Buendia and Tyrone Mings, to add.
Who's your starting centre backs? What, Tyrone Mings and Pau Torres?
No. Tyrone is going to have to fight for his place. He's going to really have to fight for his place to even get in the starting lineup. But Ezri Konsa and Pau Torres, for example, we don't need to upgrade there. We're going to upgrade in fullback position and right back, I'm sure of it. And we've already got a young baller coming in, Kosta Nedeljkovic, who played in the Champions League for Red Star, pocketed Jack Grealish in the Champions League. We've got young talent, another Morgan Rogers, right? So we've got Buendia, we've got Tyrone Mings, we've got Kamara, who's missed a lot of the season. We've also got the fact that what matter is Jacob Ramsey, star boy, yeah. Whether we sell him or not, we'll wait and see, because we might have to cash on him. But if we keep on him, this guy, Jacob Ramsey, yeah, but he's been injured. He's been injured for most of the season. He's had a hit and miss season. He's like Morgan Rogers 2.0 loaded. He's going to come in. Okay, and then for me, we're gonna make some big signings. I'm sure of it. I'm sure the owners are gonna back us. We're gonna get one of the Williams brothers in. We're gonna get Hermoso from Atletico Madrid.
We might take Watkins off your hands. I think you might. I think
Deji,
Watkins wants to play for a big fix.
Dead. He's not going. Let's be right. It's not the big six. It's the Sky Six. Okay, can we stop calling it the big six? It's the Sky PGMLO FA Six. Right, you're all in bed together. You, as long as you are in the big to the six, because this is what. In fact, you've got my blood boiling here because I've had this debate with someone earlier over message. Right, how can you be called the big six when 2 seasons in a row Chelsea and Spurs have not, especially Chelsea, right? You're not even finishing in the top 4. Yes, at Spurs, well done. You've got back in the 6. You've got back in the 6. Chelsea, you're finishing outside it again. Dusty Manchester United is mid-table mediocrity these days, right? It's got to be called the Sky Six. It's not the Big Six anymore. It's the Sky Six. And so, listen, we are in a better position than you to go and challenge for the league. I think we'll learn from Newcastle as well about how to handle the Champions League because we will have to sign squad depth. There's no doubt about it. And Unai Emery will be ready. But how dare you even say Watkins? How dare you even say Watkins will downgrade to your horrible bottling club who has no ambition and will not win anything? He will not win anything again next season.
I'm not being funny. Apart from Konsa and Pau Torres, Watkins, Bailey. When I think of your squad, it's not that much better than Spurs' squad, mate. I think Spurs' squad is better than yours, bro. I mean, your
midfield is dusty.
We're able to bring on. I mean, I know they're not in form, but we're able to bring on Bentancur. We're able to bring on Højbjerg. We're able to bring on. We're able to bring on Richarlison. Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, there's levels.
Højbjerg, right? Højbjerg. Are you trying to tell me
he gets in your midfield?
Shut up, Deji. Shut up. Højbjerg wouldn't even tie the laces of Callum Chambers. That's how bad Højbjerg is, right? That is how bad he is, right? In fact, let's do this. Let's do this position for position. Martinez or Vicario? Chat, get involved. Martinez or Vicario?
No, I would say that based on Vicario's poor. By the way, I had doubts about Vicario, and that's come to roost. I called him at the beginning of the season vicarious liability, and he's turned out to be the case because this brother is so dusty when it comes to anything in the air. I mean, the Liverpool goals for me this weekend were soft goals. The first 3 goals were soft. I mean, bloody hell. I think if it was Martinez in goal, Liverpool score only 1 on the weekend. I think the Salah goal was a soft header. Martinez saves that. I think for the Roberts goal, I think any keeper worth half his weight pushes that to the side. That's what they teach you in the academy. Don't push the ball in front, push it to the side. That's exactly what Vicario did. And then that Gakpo header, I mean, I thought like it was slow motion. He just leapt up. Dun, 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 dun. Dun. You know what I mean? It was slow motion. So for me, Martinez over Vicario all day long.
Edge, I think Steve 24/7's right. If we just go straight to it, Van der Ven might get in the side, and that's about it.
No, don't be silly. You take Romero as well. Don't be silly, bro. Are you telling who have you got at left back? Hold on. Who's your left back?
Luca Dean or Moreno.
Over Udogie.
Who?
Over Udogie. Are you mad? Udogie is in everyone's Premier League 11 at the end of the season. Luca Dean is in no one's Premier League 11 unless you're a Villa fan.
Do you know what? Again, that is just jumping on the bandwagon of someone. I'm sorry, but this one is gonna be found out. This Udogie dude is gonna be found out. Do you know who he reminds me of? Wilfred Gnonto from Leeds, where everyone was hyping that brother up, and he's struggling to dust up in the Championship. Udogie's another one of them. Okay, Pedro Porro.
There's no way I'm having this crap.
Who's on the right for you? If Pedro Porro was called Peter Porridge, right, no one would care. But because he's got this Spanish-sounding name, Pedro Porro.
No, I'll be real. Konsa at right back is probably more effective than Pedro Porro.
Absolutely.
A lot of my Villa friends have said, literally, when Konsa plays, Villa win. Usually, he makes that big of a difference, and you guys really missed him when he was injured. So I'll give him that. I don't think Porro has the same impact on the Spurs team.
I'm talking with chest there. Basuma, Sarr, Højbjerg, Bentancur, get on the bench. Don't even, maybe not even make the squad, right? John McGinn, Kamara, Louise, piss all over them. Piss all
I
over.
don't
It's
think
not
they'll
even
piss
a
all
good.
over them. I think
It's not even funny. It's not. I mean, Højbjerg's an absolute joke. Because someone said here, Højbjerg, right? This funny. This comment was funny. I've got to find it. Højbjerg gets on our turf on a Monday to cut the grass. That's what we'd sign Pierre Højbjerg to do, right? Bentancur, he's still rattled about the Matty Cash tackle, right? He's still crying about that in his sleep every night.
No, Matty Cash is a disgrace, though, to football, to be honest with you. He's absolutely. And if I see this guy at the petrol station, I'll be the first to fly kick him in the back of his head. I ain't gonna lie to you. I've said it now.
Right, Basuma and I mean, well done. I mean, I can't even.
I just think we can't do this right now because there's a lot of recency bias going on.
Deji.
Just because they're out of form at the moment, so it's hard for me to speak. These players are not better than my players. Never. This is the same players that slapped you up 4-0, bro. They slapped you 4-0.
But Dej, a lot of these players are the same players where we finished above you twice now, 2 seasons in a row.
No, you haven't finished. You finished above us once.
And no, please just concede that you haven't got top 4. Please, I know it's getting.
I'm not conceding nothing. Let me tell you this: I'm not conceding top 4, not because I think Tottenham is that good, but because I think Villa is that dusty. And the reason why I'm saying this is because Villa will not beat Liverpool or Crystal Palace. Tottenham will beat Burnley on the weekend, even though we're playing dusty football. And I don't care if it's 1-0. There's only one club in the league that Man City fear. Yeah, they fear, not because we're that good, but for whatever reason, they just struggle against Spurs. And that's City. City do not like playing Spurs. And I can tell you with chest, they're not looking forward to that game. And then finally, we are going away to Sheffield United, who's already relegated, nothing to play for. And all we need to do for that game is win. Win that, and we finish with 69 points.
Why have I got?
You're not getting any points.
Why have I got a Spurs fan, V Spurs TV, asking me where are my trophies? Dej, why am I got?
It's a legit question. We don't know where it is. I mean, if my trophy cabinet is dusty, what the hell is yours? I'm not going to lie to you. It's like going through a pyramid.
Dej.
You don't know what you're going to find in there.
Why have I got a Spurs fan asking me where my trophies are? Right. Well, then, I think I'll tell you what, V Spurs TV, your trophy seems to be beating us 4-0. That's well done. Well done on the 4-0. You beat Villa 4-0 trophy. A round of applause for the you beat Villa 4-0
at your gaff. And I also say we inflicted your biggest defeat of the season. Can you just show some respect to my club?
Well done for the 4-0 trophy. Put that next to the is it Audi Cup that you've got as well in that trophy cabinet, because that is there. But how dare V Spurs TV ask where our trophies are when the brother doesn't even know what it feels
so
like.
When was the last time you lot won your last trophy in 1996?
Yes, but
so what are you shaking your bum about? And was that the Coca-Cola Cup?
Fake Cup.
It was the what?
When was the last time you won the
trophy? What was it? It was what? We won the last trophy in 2008. Okay. I'm not saying this.
What was that?
It was the Carabao. I'm not saying that. I'm not shaking my bum for it.
Are you celebrating that or not, though?
Huh?
Are you celebrating that?
I'm confirming it.
No, but can you just tell me, are you happy with that? Are you celebrating that?
No, I'm not happy with that because we should have won a lot more trophies in that time between now and then. It's a disgrace that we haven't won any trophies, but we've recently won a trophy over Villa.
You've won
1996. 1996. I'm just trying to remember what happened in 1996. I think 1996 is when we had the Nokia 3210 and little 32 where you could change faces. You know, you could get a pink cover or a blue cover and you could play snakes on the phone. I think 1996 was then. And I think in 1996 is when Facebook came out. Just to put it into perspective, Josh. So I'm just saying, there's nothing to shake your bum about. Definitely not. Look, the only thing that is going on at the moment is recency bias. In terms of Tottenham's team has been off form But when you put
Oh,
those players are levels above them Villa players all day long. All day long. But obviously, because we've been playing poor, it's easy for you to make that argument.
Deji, 2 seasons in a row, we're going to finish above you. 2 seasons in a row.
I'm going to say to you now, if you don't finish
promise.
above Spurs, it is a disgrace. Just hold that.
We are going to finish above you. That's fine. We've made those bets, and that's fine. But I want to say as well, everyone, make sure you are smashing the like button, subscribe to both the channels in the chats. We appreciate it, and we appreciate the talk. I just want to be clear here because I'm still not really taking it in, because I was sure Deji was going to come on tonight and say, Josh, enjoy top 4. You deserve Champions League. My club is finished. My club is done. We are not getting top 4. And yet here I am tonight, still having to process Deji not tell me that his club have lost top 4. And
the thing is, Josh, I'm not going to lie, and I think people in the chat can agree with me here. Sometimes it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't. Tottenham have been fully dusty. I'm not going to lie to you. Our performances against the 3 clubs is borderline disgraceful. And the Assembled asked me a question. He said, if Postecoglou is deliberately sabotaging, is it cheating? No, mate. It's called being smart, mate. It's called knowing who you're dealing with to get what you need. If he needs to sabotage our matches to wake up the Tottenham board so that he can get the transfers he needs to take Tottenham to the promised land for next season, then I don't mind getting slapped up. Now, as for me, I'm going to be shameless. I'm going to let it be known now. Yeah? I'm going to let it be known. I do not want to see Arsenal lifting the Premier League title. And I think we all know, I said it already. I said Tottenham was going to decide where the Premier League will go this season. What I didn't know is what game. We rolled over and we allowed our nearest rivals to slap us in the tushy. Yeah? We did a disgraceful performance against Liverpool. If City beat Spurs, City win. But they can't just beat Spurs. They need to slap up Spurs. Do you know what I'm saying? They need to put 9 past Tottenham because of the goal difference, even though goal difference won't make an effect if Man City win all their games. However, Tottenham is the sort of team that I know, knowing my club, the game that the fans don't want them to win. I don't want to beat City. I wanted to beat Chelsea. I wanted to beat Arsenal. I wanted to beat Liverpool. But my club let me down. I do not want to win against City. And I bet you my club will do the unthinkable. They will beat City and allow Arsenal to win the league. Shameless as it sounds, I can see Tottenham doing it. And I can see a lot of Arsenal fans seeing Spurs doing that. Now, what I want is if Tottenham beat City, I want there to be an agreement that Arsenal fans admit that Tottenham helped them out. We helped you out. And if it also helps Spurs to get 4th, I don't have to fulfill the crusty bet that we just had. That's what I'm hoping for. I don't want to beat City. I'm quite happy to walk the plank and do what I need to do. I'd rather wear an Arsenal shirt than have Arsenal win the league. That's the truth. I'd rather wear an Arsenal shirt. You know what I'm saying? I would rather wear an Arsenal shirt than see Arsenal win the league, mate. It would kill me. So, it's not making any sense. But if any club can beat Burnley at home, City at home, and then Sheffield United away, it's my club. It's my club, Tottenham Hotspur. And that's what it is, mate. It doesn't make any sense, but I can see it. Can you see it? Can you see it? Because I can.
Shameless. We've got it. We're going to get that clipped up. I'd rather wear an Arsenal shirt than see Arsenal win the league. And that was the predicament that I put Deji in. And that is probably my biggest achievement of fishing I've ever had in my life, because I got Deji to a point last week. Come in with chest, because I told him, you keep telling me how good your Spurs team is, and I got him on that Arsenal shirt, and I'm so proud of it. But
can I also just say also to the Arsenal fans in the chat here who like to troll me, Look, what you lot need to do, you see, look, if Arsenal really wants to win the league, we've all got to work. You've all got to put in and do your bit. What you guys need to do is you need to get on your knees and get your little prayer beads out and hope that Tottenham do the unthinkable and beat City. If my club beats City, the title is yours. It's that bloody simple. But I would rather wear an Arsenal shirt than see Arsenal win the league. I can do that. No problemo.
Got to respond to Rasmus. Why do Villa fans have so much chest? Well, Rasmus, there's a few things. Number one, when you've won the European Cup, we can talk. Number two, the Sky PGMLO FA6 are so put on a pedestal by guess who? The Sky Media, the Sun, the TalkSport. They're put on a pedestal, and clubs like Aston Villa just get forgotten about. They don't want to talk about us. They forget that we're in a time. Do you know how bad it is, Rasmus, that Sky only realised on Wednesday that if we were to beat Brighton, we would get top four, and hence why they made the late decision to put Villa on Sky. That is how shameless Sky are, that they forgot we existed and they forgot that we should have been on there. So that's number two. Number three is we can talk of chess because we can see the big picture that's building at Villa with an elite level manager, a trophy winning manager, okay? A trophy winning manager who's going to get us top four and not be a one-hit wonder. We've got the keys, we've got the ammunition to keep and be in a big club. We were a big club. We went backwards, and that backwards into the Championship. We rebuilt, and we are going to be back to the top. And I promise you now, Rasmus, this isn't just us just speaking because we've had a one-off season. We're speaking because we know what's happening. And Sky PGMLO FA6, they can keep being the limelight boys, and we'll keep doing our business behind the scenes. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the Sky Six. The Sky Sports Sick make me absolutely furious. It really, really hurts me. So, look, yeah, I think it's there. But look, there's a lot of good comments coming in.
Yeah, I just want to pick up on a couple of comments.
So
the Assembled says, with my logic, because he understand me, he says, with your logic, it means Arsenal, that United will probably beat Arsenal. If United beat Arsenal, that's you lot's fault. That's not my fault. Spurs would have done their job. Do you know what I mean? Spurs would have done the unthinkable and given you guys a lifeline. And then if you go and lose to Crusty United this Sunday, then you guys have bottled the job. You guys are throwing it in the towel. Because I can see Spurs. And actually, that would be the most ideal of situations for me personally. Shameless to say. Arsenal to lose to United on the weekend. Tottenham to beat City next week. Somehow Tottenham finishing fourth and Arsenal not winning the league. I will laugh so hard because I've been saying all season that there is no difference between Arsenal and Spurs. And if somehow Spurs get a Champions League place with no trophy and Arsenal get a Champions League place with no trophy, in the most weirdest of fashions, I would have been right. And I'll be telling all the cronies in the chat, hold that, and hold that. So I just want to say, Arsenal reckons Man City will, I think he says Spurs will beat Man City 2-1. Yeah, he says Spurs will beat Man City 2-1. And View from the Bits is saying he's got his prayer beads more for Fulham than for you. Do that. I don't know why you're wasting your time with that. My club is the team that you need to be getting your prayer beads out if you want us to do you a favor. But if you flop the show against United on the weekend, that's not our fault. That's yours. So we're going to wrap up here. I just need to get the punchlines, the headlines sorted, right? Just so I know what I'm sort of soaking in for the week, ready to come. So first and foremost, four's not over for Spurs. The unthinkable is probably going to happen. The unthinkable, the unpredictable, that doesn't make sense-able, that Spurs are probably going to beat City, even though Deji doesn't want it to happen, but it's probably going to happen. His club, because remember, chat, the Man City haven't scored at Spurs' new stadium trophy is bigger than the Carabao Cup. It's bigger than the Carabao Cup. That's something to be proud of, though. I like. That is something to be proud of. City haven't scored a single Premier League goal at my club.
And listen, we've got 2 trophies tonight. We've got the Tottenham 1-4-0 trophy against Villa, and we've got the Tottenham haven't conceded a goal against Man City at home trophy. So round of applause for the trophies cabinet of Spurs. It's less dusty now, so there's something there. And Deji is still convinced that Villa are going to get nil points to the end of the season, and that actually Spurs are going to come in and do the job, and that would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? It would be unbelievable if that happens. But if it happens, I will sit back and go, Deji, why do people not listen to you more? Why are you not the oracle? Because I will say that, and of course I've got my forfeit. I will do a watch along in a Birmingham Dusty City shirt, right? And I'll go to the ground, as you said. And no, sorry, it's a Deji Spurs shirt, wasn't it? I have to wear
Spurs, man. Deji Spurs.
Yeah, Deji Spurs shirt.
A souvenir.
Yeah, and I'll be there. But what I am looking forward to is content's always hard to find in the summer chat, with their break. But I'm telling you now, the content I'm going to have taking this guy to the Emirates to get in an Arsenal shirt and to getting him wearing it and to making sure it is there, it is going to be the best content anyone could wish for to get through a Gareth Southgate Borefest summer, because, oh, geez, what a beautiful time that is going to be. But listen, I'm going to cook Deji when we get top 4. Don't you worry about it. I've been nice to him. What I've done with Deji is I'm not cooking him on a fryer. Yeah, right. What I'm doing is I've got the oil ready on the pan. So I've got the oil ready on the pan. I've bought a nice new pan. I've got the oil ready. And what I'm waiting to do is I'm not quite ready just to put the hob on yet, because I'm not sure when I want to start cooking. I'm not sure when. But as soon as Spurs, this is the thing. This is the crazy thing. I think Spurs are going to just give it to us. I think Spurs are just going to give it to us by dropping points against Burnley. This is how dusty your club is at the moment.
I mean, if we do that, it's a disgrace, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. It's a big boy disgrace. But I'm just saying, look, as for Spurs fans, look, you're right. I've lost hope in my club for this season. I think the guys are at the beach. A lot of those players have booked their ticket to go to Mallorca, Dubai, and the Caribbean already for the summer. They're a disgraceful bunch. I mean, be professional and finish off the job. But I can just see it. I don't know why. I can just see my club doing the unthinkable. If we win against Burnley and you guys lose to Liverpool, it's over.
I'm laughing at this comment and your comment. it's just great. Saskia Guna's so rich because of Deji. Doing the opposite. But yeah, we've got a super chat coming from Dave. It's from Ike. He says, big up Deji. Prayer breeds are out for 4 dusty ass Spurs. And that's the thing. Those prayer breeds are very much there. But Deji's on my griddle. I've got him simmering. But do you know what? This is the thing. Deji, he might be able to get me on the last day of the season, and he might be able to go all-you-can-eat buffet. Deji might actually be delivering an all-you-can-eat buffet and serving me from every continent and every style. Because
just know I'm clipping all of this, Josh. Just know I'm clipping this for you, yeah? For the end of this season, I'm going to remind you of all of these dusty comments, and it's going to, I hope it comes to bite you in the tushy. I hope it does, because it would be the funniest thing I've seen on the stream, where you've been shaking your bum violently, and in the end, Villa end up with nothing. No Champions League, no Europa Conference League trophy. Tottenham finish in a Champions League spot, and Arsenal finish second. Wouldn't that be? That would be the most fantastic and shameless thing to happen. I'm not saying it's fair, but boy, oh boy, you know who predicted it. Say what you like about me, Saskia Guna. If that was to come to pass, it quashes all the bets that I've lost.
And if that happens, then what a sum we're going to have. But the final super chat coming in, big up Alan Ford, my lord, Alan Ford. Big up to you, saying later, guys. We are going to wrap up here. It has been another dust off today. And of course, guys, the big one will be next week. We're going to have a dust off next week. It will probably be later on because Liverpool play Villa on the Monday night. So we're probably going to have to come in for a dust off later on in the week as we get the gloves off. And we'll be seeing who's getting the knives out, the chopping boards, the frying pans, the cuisine ready. Big up to everyone. Make sure you smash a like. Make sure you subscribe and enjoy the rest of your week. Big love. Ta-da, everyone. See you soon.
Thank you.